Recording in 3, 2, 1. And hello and welcome to another episode of That Karate Podcast. We're still going. Sorry, people. Introducing, as always, Mark Slattery, who's today, Sean McLaren, and today's special guest, we really look forward to this one, is Matt Price, Sensei.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us. I'll do a quick biography. I'll do this as quick as and as efficiently as I can. As I said beforehand, Matt Sensei's done a lot of stuff, so I'll take a deep breath. Matt Price Sensei started karate in 1982. Too young. You look too young, Sensei. You look too young. Matt joined the infamous Leeds Shotokan Karate Club under the guidance of Bob Rhodes Sensei at the age of 13. At 15 years old, Matt was asked to join the KUGB junior squad. By the age of 16, he was fighting for the Leeds senior committee team. Well, Matt's first international success came at the European Shotokan Karate Championships in Monaco in 1992. He took bronze and was part of the winning junior team. By 1999, Matt was captaining the famous KUGB team and winning many national and international titles. In 2002, Matt became the fourth person in history of the KUGB to become the grand champion by winning both kata and kumite at the national championships. 2006 saw Matt Sensei taking the title of individual European champion at the ESCAs in Switzerland, and it was the first British competitor to do so since 1989. Well, during this time, Matt has also competed under Sensei Tiki Donovan, OBE, as part of the English All-Styles team, and added a WKF international medal to his collection. In 2007, Matt Sensei captained the KUGB senior men's team and got gold at the Whiskers championships in Poland. I won't say the town. I can't pronounce that. Matt Sensei retired from competition in 2007, much to everyone's relief, I think. Since then, Matt has dedicated himself to studying all aspects of Shotokan Karate, and he's also written many articles for SKM and is highly regarded instructional kumite DVD series. Yeah. Not bad for a Thursday, Sensei. Yeah, not bad.
Isn't it?
So, who's starting with the questions? Who's on the first question?
I'll get kicked off, Sensei. As I said, as Liam did mention, a lot of people do know you. You've had a lot of success in your kind of career in karate. So we just kind of like to get to know you a little bit more. Kind of what got you started in karate and what kind of keeps you motivated now, keeps you going, keeps you training, keeps you teaching and stuff.
Okay. Well, I got started in karate when I was about 9-10 years old. My main hobby at that age was watching television, and I think my mum decided, especially that watching television wasn't going to get me anywhere. I wasn't particularly very good at school, and I wasn't particularly very sporty either. So it took me long to try some karate out. And as we all do at first, I thought it was fantastic. And after a few weeks, I decided I hated it. I didn't want to go back. And I sort of hated it for the first few years. But my mum and my dad, especially my mum, just dragged me along, wouldn't let me stop, kept telling me I needed to do something. And then I think one of the guiding things when we moved to Yorkshire, so I live in Harrogate now, went along to the local Harrogate club, and completely changed my view on karate. Karate suddenly became really popular. The Karate Kid movies and the ninja sort of revolution, Shokushugi movies and such things came out. And then I could sort of the age of 13, I decided that karate was completely for me and switched my mind overnight and have not looked back one day since. And it became my whole life. And what keeps me going, because there's so much always to learn in karate. I mean, I always joke that if you get bored of karate, you're bored of life. I mean, there's so much to it. There's so much to work on, to evaluate, to improve on. It's an ongoing journey. So, yeah, I love it.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Matt Sensei, I mean, you keep busy trying to improve methods of training. I mean, you've got the Karate Buddy app and you've got the Kumite Coach. Could you just tell us a little bit about that, please?
Well, the KumateCoach.com is a real good idea. A good friend of mine, Ben Richardson, Sensei, who's one of my assistant squad coaches now for JKS England squad. He sort of came up with this idea with myself and Paul Newby Sensei, who's a past WKF World Karate Champion, just to put together a platform, just so sort of working from two different angles. One, someone who has never done any kumite before, sort of to build them towards a level where they compete. And the other angle, those people who experienced kumite athletes, giving them more things and ideas to work from, all sort of done on a high resolution recordings. Out of that, the Karate Buddy app, which I love, the Karate Buddy app. The Karate Buddy app was something that came out years ago. Paul Newby sort of developed it, and I had it on an iPad. It sort of stopped being developed, and you couldn't get it anymore. And I had it on an iPad, and I refused to update this one iPad for years because I couldn't lose that app. And now we've got it all redone. So it's free on the App Store and on the Google Play Store, and it's just dead simple, just bleeps and instructions. You can set it up in the dojo, random numbers going. So I've got hundreds of drills that I do with that. And as an instructor, it's great because I can set it up and I can walk around correcting things while someone else is doing all the shouting and the instructions. And for training myself, especially in this Zoom period, I just sat it up and just train along on the Zoom with the class. So yeah. All good.
I completely agree. I mean, I use the Karate Buddy app all the time. I mean, I literally love it. The possibilities are literally endless. And as you just said there, with Zoom, with like COVID, it's quite difficult just to stand in the front of the camera, just teach for a few hours. It's quite difficult. So it is nice just to have that in the background. And like I said, the possibilities are literally endless. It's just it's a great bit of kit.
Yeah, well, I did a kumite class. Well, I've been doing a Zoom kumite class every Friday. Obviously, feels like forever now on the Zoom. But I did an whole hour a couple of weeks ago when it was just 1 minute bleeps with 15 seconds rest in between, and 1 minute bleeps for an hour with different drills for that full hour. And yeah, it works. Yeah, it definitely works. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I enjoy it. My guys don't enjoy it.
If there's something in my dojo that does all the shouting and counting, I'm as well going home. That's all I offer. That's all I can really bring to the table. That's my entire skill set. But you've really seemed to have kind of, certainly on the outside, it certainly seemed to have embraced and thrived during the kind of the COVID, and you've really adapted your teaching to Zoom. It's been quite it's been for us on the outside watching, it's kind of, but we've stolen things from you, if I'm honest, to keep going. Plagiarism there. Not the worst.
I'll take a note of that. It's been quite inspirational to kind of watch how some people have kind of shied away from, but you kind of grabbed it by the throat, for want of a better term, and kind of take it forward. So was it a deliberate mindset change, or did you just naturally kind of gravitate to it, or did you find it easy? I think like everybody at first, the COVID pandemic sort of hit us by surprise, didn't it? We all saw it coming, but all thought, well, it's not going to affect us really, and everything's going to be okay. And then one morning you get up and you say your dojo has to shut. And I, like everybody else, I'm a full-time instructor. I love teaching karate. I love doing karate even more. I go, what are we going to do? And a good friend of mine, Tim Griffith Sensei from Bristol, who I've known for years, he jumped on it straight away. He was, even before anybody heard of Zoom. And so I rang him up that day. Said, what is this Zoom? People learning off iPads and screens. It can't possibly work, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a go. And now it's fantastic. I mean, this week we're back in the dojo, but there's still people having to isolate, and there's still people that can't get to the dojo. So the tripod was set up in the dojo just as another student in the dojo, with people working around the tripod. So you still had maybe 10 or so people, even then, working from home, who just couldn't get there that night. So yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you'd said to me 2 years ago, online karate sessions, I would have said, no chance. It's a gimmick. But no, I mean, some of the, I know, especially like in JKS, we've been very lucky with some of the sessions that Japan have put on for us every week, and they're ringside seats to technical things. Now, I've spent as much time as I can training with the Japanese in Japan, but you'll still pick up things on that Zoom that I think, oh, I didn't know that. Why haven't I spotted that before? So as a learning aid, it's fantastic. I do a Wednesday morning class, which I used to do when we had the full-time dojo, which due to the one of the reasons due to the pandemic we lost that. But and it was always a hard grafting session. There's lots of kumite and lots of fitness. But I've changed that now, and I'm going to keep that on Zoom. Whatever happens, that's staying on Zoom. 7:30 in the morning, and it's just karate conditioning. And the fact I can just get out of bed and just do it is even better.
Yeah.
Gosh. do you enjoy the Zoom session? So it's like watching your videos on Facebook and social media, it just seems like that you really enjoy teaching online. I don't know, it just seems to come across that way. Do you enjoy it?
I do actually enjoy it. Yeah, I don't enjoy it as much as teaching in the dojo. And again, back just last week, teaching to a class of adults and kids at the same time. I think, wow, that was really. I can actually see what we need to be working on. Rather than assessing after the event sort of thing, but I did grow to quite enjoy some of the sessions. I work really well. My wife Zoe, who's a high level karate, we work really well together. Sometimes she'll be on the screen writing little notes saying people's stances and stuff, and then we have a little bit of banter back and forward. And I'll tell her that she's only got one job and why she's messed up again, and get her out to demonstrate on. So yeah.
Brave. Very brave.
You spent the best of it.
We knew you were tough, but we didn't think you were that tough.
Stupid, not tough.
All right, that's a good point. Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more.
I made that mistake plenty of times. I did. Tough and stupid are two different things, and can easily be mixed up.
Fantastic. I'll just get a wee question for you, Sensei. In terms of kind of competition career, obviously Liam mentioned only a few. You obviously started off with kind of Shobuppon. In the past, we kind of talked about comparison with Shobuppon, and then you moved into WKF as well. How did you feel with that kind of transition from traditional Shobuppon into kind of WKF kind of competitions?
Well, I was training with WKF competitors whilst I was competing in Shobuppon. Okay. So one of my best friends for a long, long time has been Paul Newby, who's a WKF World Lightweight Champion. So he's the British coach now. And so I was training with him 2-3 times a week whilst I was doing the Shobuppon. And it was those training methods that helped me get where I was in the Shobuppon. So I was really... I just thought it was the way forward. It was the way forward. If you wanted to win things, you needed to be really looking ahead and looking at the modern drills and what's going on. And like I said, just being tough isn't good enough because you'll get through some rounds, but you won't win. You have to be fit. Again, you'll get through some rounds, but you won't win unless you're fit. Yeah. So yeah, the WKF style. So especially say you're going away to the old Shobuppon European and World Championships, the fighters that were winning those had a WKF background as well, normally as well. Yeah. That doesn't happen quite so much anymore because such as like the Premier One now, that the WKF athletes are competing at such a high level calendar, they haven't got time to go anywhere else. Yeah. But at that time, you saw them on the circuits and they were winning things, and so you thought, well, I want to win things, so I'll do what they're doing.
Nice.
You've done well. You've done really well.
I remember seeing videos of you before, and you were the kind of first person, like the whiskers, etc., where I saw kind of using that kind of plyometric and explosive movement that I certainly remember seeing. And I could see the more kind of old school kind of Shobuppons like a trebuchet, they kind of load back and go, and they seemed to be standing still when you were fighting. You were just so explosive and aggressive in your movement and dynamic. And I think that was quite an eye opener for likes of people my age. I grew up with Shobuppon. Shobuppon was enshrined as this is the only pure system, and anything else is sacrilege. But you were seeing that kind of movement, and you were like, "Oh, wait a minute." Hey, minute, that works. In that setting. So I think you're one of the people that kind of triggered the change and the change in mind of some people in the UK as regard to that kind of training. So that was. Did you get any kind of friction for it, or were you quite well supported with that?
No, you did get. I did get some friction for it. Most people would support, but you would still get people just saying. I won't mention any names, but I would get people saying, "Oh, well, you joined the soft side," or again, you think, well, you've never been hit by them. Go and get hit by them, and then come back and tell me they're soft. So I did get some friction, but then when you end up winning that competition, you say, well, yeah, objective achieved. It's simple as that. But that, you still see now. I mean, I'll put little clips maybe every now on social media of me doing some stuff, and most of it will have been like bare knuckle karate, mitts. And you still get people saying, "Oh, that's the way it was. That was fantastic." And you go, well, there's plenty of competitions I didn't win because I was disqualified because you cut the person, the bare knuckle on bare skin. Yeah. I felt it was quite well controlled. They may not agree, but there's a big cut, and you're out. And so things like pads and stuff, I'll still sometimes spar without them, but for a competition, if you've got a job and you've got to turn up there the next day and you don't want your eye split in two, it's all progression. It's all good.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, I think it had to modernise, in my opinion. I think a lot of people that hark back to the old days weren't actually there. There's a lot of people do a lot of talking, but
Liam, you've hit a nail on the head. You've hit the nail on the head. I see a lot of people saying these things, and I think I don't remember seeing you fight. So, your face isn't squashed like mine. What's going on?
Matt, I mean, you've got like an amazing achievements that you've got over your karate career so far. I mean, looking back, what was your like best memory, best achievement that in your opinion that sticks out?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Again, I think every time I get asked that question, so something new pops into your head. It's different things at different times. So when they ran out the achievements there, I won the KUGB Grand Championships in 2002. So when you're winning the kata and the kumite the same day, and I'd spent years winning. Sometimes I'd win the kata, and then sometimes I'd win the kumite. And I got to that stage thinking, can I ever put these two things together? And then I did it. And so, and then what's the next thing? European Championship. Oh, okay. Well, so you're sort of ticking the boxes as you go. When I fought for the WKF team, and I fought for the Raw Styles team, that was like another box, because the opportunity suddenly arose, which wasn't there. The Karate United for a brief period of time. The opportunity was there. I was already in my mid-30s. I thought, right, can I do it? Can I get on that team? Is that another box I can tick? So it's all been. So when I stopped doing that competition, I can say I tried everything. I put my heart and soul into everything, and this is what I achieved. And even if I didn't, get all my goals, at least I tried my best to get them. So maybe the ESCA European Championships, because that's a hard competition to win. I mean, it was there was no weight divisions, so it was just everybody from every country trying to win that one. It was a high standard competition, and I'd got so close so many times, and then I just kept going until I won it. The refs probably got sick of seeing me there. So.
But something I don't think you'll see again is that kind of, certainly the WKF framework, is that you don't see people kata and kimite anymore.
Yeah.
So that is something that's, I think, again, Talking an old fart now. I think that is something that's maybe going to be lost over time. I think maybe you were going to be one of the last few people that was able to kind of combine that because it is so specialised now.
Yeah, it is specialised now. I mean, in my viewpoint, everyone should do both up to a certain stage, and then I have nothing against people specialising. I prefer if they still did the other side of it, but I can understand these days having to specialise to get to the levels you need to win. And then, karate competition is only for a small period of your karate life, and after that, you can go back and just do everything.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. You've been to Japan, yeah, and I remember you have to be. We're all ex Yahara students, the three of us. I remember reading I triggered somebody's Amazon. Did you not go and train at his dojo at one point? I'm sure I read one article that you trained at his dojo.
Yes. Trained. I can't remember when that would have been now. Maybe 2012. But yes, we went over there and with a small group, managed to get permission to go and train. So yeah, trained at his dojo with him, and great experience. Yeah. Did
you enjoy his training? Did you enjoy his approach?
Yeah, I did. Especially, I'd grown up with the stories of Yahara Sensei, reading fighting arts. I'm sure as my generation, I will know this legendary character. And so, yeah, when the chances were there to go and train with him, I loved it. I mean, I think I told a story about. So we had permission to go and train at the dojo. And we first got there, Osaka Sensei had just finished his training, and he sort of read the letter that we had and said, okay, come back so-and-so hour. So we did. And one of the junior students took a really good, very basic class. And then we had a message saying, Yahara Sensei will teach you on Saturday, but you must come at this time. So we all turned up, and he walked in, and we had to keep absolute discipline. You had to, wherever he moved, you had to make sure you were facing him in the dojo and staying in your sort of yoi position the whole time. And then when he came out, he through an interpreter, he sort of asked us what our view of karate was. And you're giving the sort of generic replies, or it's a way of life, and all these sort of things. And Yahara Sensei was getting visibly more cross. And a couple of people that we had with us were also very nothing wrong with this, but more hobby karate people, just going there for a bit of a trick. And so he was getting crosser and crosser, and by the end of it, he said, unless you give me the correct answer, you must all now leave this dojo and never come back. I will not teach you. So I'm starting to sweat a bit now as well. One of the people leading this little trip, and I just you just send your mind back to all the articles you've ever read and all the interviews. I just said, karate is the art of killing people. And he was, yes. And then told a story about them ripping the still beating heart out of someone. And he sort of looked around at the more casual karateka who would look like, oh my God, what has he taken us to here? I think myself and there was Nick Hield Sensei who were running it, and so we both had a little nod at each other. And then he gave us a superb class. So
yeah. He used to come out with stories. We did a couple of courses, and there's kids in the class. They'd start telling stories, and you're like, covering the kids' ears, looking at the parents sitting watching the class, like, what? Yeah, he's a character. But so now we're all in the JKS boat. What drew you to? The last few weeks we've been flying the flag. What drew you to JKS and Kagawa Shihan and just and this group? Because we're outsiders that came in as well. And you're the same. So how did your journey bring you to Kagawa Shihan and JKS?
I mean, the simple answer is, and it always sounds a bit flag waving, but the quality of the karate, I was just blown away by the quality of the karate. That's one of the trips that we had. You could in fact be on that same trip where we trained at the JKS, and I mean, the very, very first session we trained at the JKS was under Kaneyama Sensei. And we didn't really know who Kaneyama Sensei was then. Yeah, we know now. And when we walked out of that session, oh my God, what is going on? It was a 2,000 mile an hour press ups, sit-ups, and within the hour, it felt like we'd done more karate in that 1 hour than we had done in months. And then we went back a few more times and we saw another instructor, maybe Yamaguchi Sensei or Nagaki Sensei. The quality of the karate they were producing and explaining as well, little things, asking you, why are you doing this way? Maybe you should think about doing it this way because of this, which we were always told, a Japanese instructor wouldn't do that. They'll just tell you to work. But within an hour, again, training at the headquarters there, it came out with so many ideas and new directions. And then I was thinking of moving across. So Nick Heald, Sensei, who I run my Leeds dojo with, he was really pushing me. He said, we've got to move. And then we got invited to do a demonstration at the JKS World Championships in Scotland. We did that, and then just watching the Japanese team just completely said, right, that's where we've got to go. That's the karate that we need. And the best move ever made. The karate is the best karate I've ever seen. So.
I think we're all in the same boat with that one. I think that's, as I say, it's no disrespect to other organisations we've been with. I just think that it was. Sean and I had kind of we're making the move already, and we went to the championships. It was in Scotland again. I think the host of the Worlds. Yeah, and we sat. It was great actually being at a competition, not having to get punched in the face, coach or referee, because usually you sit down, you're grabbed, given 2 flags and put in a corner. So I was actually sitting up, eating a hot dog, drinking.
That's lovely. That's
fantastic. And as you say, we watched the quality of the karate, and we were like, we made the right call here. So I think we're kind of on the same page there. Yeah, we hypnotised Mark.
It was a big wrench to leave the KUGB, and I've got nothing but good things to say about the karate. But I mean, it's good karate. The KUGB. If someone comes from a KUGB club, the karate is going to be good. The karate is going to be good. It just felt that this is the direction I need to go. It was just another level, really. But I'd never say anything against the KUGB's karate. We often have people coming to the dojo as visitors, and if they're KUGB, they're going to be good. I mean, and many other associations like that as well. They're going to be good.
We're the same. We didn't leave for there was no animosity when we left.
No.
And I had nothing but the greatest respect for the previous organisation. Me personally, my karate was just going a different direction from theirs. I mean, I just wanted to take it a different way, and rather than staying in a square peg, I kind of made the decision to kind of move elsewhere. But wasn't anything.
No.
There was no personal attack there.
I think we kind of spoke about for our students as well about opportunity. We spoke to Alan Campbell Sensei last week in terms of the JKS and the opportunities that it kind of. I don't kind of obviously want to batter on from last week, but for our students, we felt competitions wise, training wise, that JKS was a better move.
Yeah. And you want to get them on that WKF circuit. I mean, there's some good circuits out there, but the WKF circuit is the premier circuit. You watch those. I mean, again, watching them doesn't always give it. You have to watch them up close. Go and see it live, and see the things that people are able to do these days, and come on, go, wow. So.
The standard is through the roof now. I mean, I think you look back at old videos from the 80s, and you look at the standard now. There's techniques people throw now, and the timing they've got now. It's so far ahead now.
You think about a technique such as like a timing umoishi. Now, there was people that would maybe do that every now and then in the 80s, but they did it. You talk about it for weeks. It'd be the highlight of the competition. Yeah. These days, you need your 10-year-olds to be able to do
that. Matt Sensei, I mean, we're back now to our face-to-face sessions. I know you're saying that I think you was back training this week.
Yes.
I mean, what's next for you now? Back.
Well, it's a little bit of a rebuilding period now. I think everyone's been saying the same thing. There's been a lot of inquiries with it's amazing the amount of beginners we've picked up the last few weeks. I think speaking to other instructors, that seems to be the same across the board, which is lovely. And then it's, normally I'd be doing seminars every weekend. Well, I've done seminars in ages. I think I did 2 in the small little break that we had. But even like this week, teaching in front of a live audience, if you will, it was all a bit. You had to rethink how to do it all. It'll come back. I mean, in fact, it'll come back really quick. But I got home and thought, well, I didn't do this, or I didn't check. I didn't go down the junior end and correct anything because. So it's just rebuilding that, and then obviously getting the squads back running, competitions. Some people won't have done anything for a year, so just slowly building them back in. Other people have been doing the techniques on the Zoom, but haven't been hit in a year. So getting people used to be hitting. Yeah, we can sort that out for you.
Yeah, we said, didn't we, with that we felt nervous, shortly when we went back. It was a bit like completely out of our comfort zone, really, with it all. But it's good to be back, definitely.
Yeah, I felt very claustrophobic. I mean, I've done horrific things in my dojo, like bodies. Sean and I were talking about a course I ran a while ago with was it Matsui Sensei came over, and there was a slight overbooking issue. And my dojo's the mat's a decent size, but not for 60 people. and the idea of having 60 people in there now would absolutely freak me out. I had 20 training the other night in one class, and I felt claustrophobic. So,
but it's funny with I think it was my senior class on Tuesday night, and we've hired a really big hall so we can keep everything correct. And I was saying to Zoe, that was packed. God, it was absolutely packed. How many people in that class? 30. Oh, I felt like there's hundreds in there.
Yeah, I remember Matsui Sensei's face when he came out after to be announced, and it was just like 65 people standing, and he's like, I'll have to change what I'm teaching.
He was quite good. It's okay. Kagawa Sensei has taught me how to teach a class like this, not run by idiots. That's what it is.
It was funny. It was funny.
It wasn't as stressful as the Nagaki Sensei day when I broke the land speed record and blew up my Jaguar to get him to the. He was late to the airport. I think it was coming down. I don't know if it was with you. I don't know if it was maybe with you, Sensei. It was down in England. And I had to pick him up the train from the airport, and he was at 10 a.m. He was meant to be at Stewarton for, was it 12, Sean?
Yeah, I think it was the 12, but the flight was delayed, and you were in Edinburgh, and it was like starting. You're like, Sean, take the warm up. I'll be there. I'll be on the way.
And again, the class was like this. I turned up, and you were panic stricken. But yes, it's changed days now. But hopefully we can get. So are you going to start doing courses again? Are you starting to get bookings in?
Yeah, the bookings are. Yeah, the bookings starting come back in again now. Yeah, it's the kind of starting to take shape again, which is nice. I enjoy doing the courses. It's nice to meet people. It's nice to meet different karate people. So I always enjoy that aspect of it. So yeah, it's going in the right direction now. So fingers crossed.
Fantastic.
How have your squad guys coped? How have your kind of competition guys coped?
That's we got some that have really embraced it. Or there's some of our competitors who have just been on every Zoom session and they've been training with all different instructors around the world. And there's others who just haven't. I mean, some people just haven't gone on the Zoom, have they? Some people just can't connect. Yeah. And so it's going to be about just trying to get everyone back together and getting the old band back together, sort of thing, and seeing and going from there. Certainly, I've been teaching obviously the juniors, the kids in the dojo, and some of the ones that were decent competitors. We can still see they've still got it, and that will soon come back. Maybe the ones that are on the border, just starting to get the hang of it, there'll be more work involved there. You can see they've fallen back, but it gives us something to do, something to work on.
Just we were kind of talking ourselves at the start of the week there. Is there anything from the Zoom that you would take into your live classes? Some things that you maybe picked up, either watching yourself training on the camera, or some classes that you had to adapt for Zoom that you would take into your kind of live classes?
Yeah, I think a lot of the obviously for the Zoom classes, we all had to think about a small area, making your karate sessions work for maybe a 3 meter by 3 meter area, and so everything worked around that sort of distance. So sort of little movement drills, footwork drills, and again, some of those things they'll just slip straight back, and now we go into the dojo. So I mean, I think for a majority of instructors who have worked through and thrived to a degree through this period now, it will only add, I think, to their ability to become better instructors as we go back into the dojo.
I think it was a couple of months ago you did a course. I think it was for Team Sensei, Bristol Karate, with Steve Carlos Sensei.
Yes.
And after it was an amazing course. Afterwards there was like a Q&A, and I think someone said to you, about Zoom, and your answer to the question was that over this period, with the lockdown and the Zoom sessions, you sort of had more time to reflect on your own karate, and it's gave you more time to look at areas and improve and benefit. I mean, you just say that was the case?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. So this last year or so, 14 months, there's been plenty of negatives, but one of the massive positives is the amount I've been able to, really reconnect with all my karate. As I say, whether it's been recording a Zoom session and watching it back, and you're not looking for the good bits, you're looking for the bad bits, the things that you can make a little note on your whiteboard, and then you think, well, if I'm not doing that very well, there's probably a good chance the people I'm teaching aren't doing that very well either. So that will become the focus of the next few classes. I'm sitting in my dojo at home now because it's the quietest place in the house. But I've spent more time down here in the last year than I have done in a long, long time.
Is that your choice or the missus?
I think she's locked the door, so it must be her choice.
Is that padlock on the outside? It's her choice.
Yeah. I mean, some of the things like the Zoom, like if doing a private lesson on Zoom, they're challenging because you've got to be really thinking then.
Yeah.
And though when I first started doing like the Zoom private classes, you'd be tempted to fill all the dead air with drills, and so some poor lad is just pretending his camera's failed halfway through because
the camera does this. It just goes. It goes up.
We all learn from these sort of things as we're going on. But yeah, my own karate, I feel has, well, I'd be surprised if it hasn't improved because it's all I've done. All I've done for the last year is just karate. And I mentioned earlier that the Zoom private lessons that we've been lucky enough to get through JKS from Tokyo every week have really been a lifeline for me. So.
Yeah, me too. I've got to agree with that. I mean, I sometimes went through. Not to take the focus off you here, but I kind of went through a situation where when I'm not training, I kind of lose my way.
Yeah.
If I'm only teaching, if I don't take that time to actually train, and the support we got from Tokyo kind of kept me honest, kind of kept me training, and that kind of kept. And as you say, there's so much to pick up and so much to learn, and when you're able to watch it in that fine detail on your television,
it works. So I mean, you have got a front row seat, haven't you? You've got
literally.
the front row seat, and there was one the other day when we did Jinro Showdown, one of the JKS katas as such, or Asai Sensei katas as such, and there was little things. I've got my little whiteboard out, so every time I hear something, I think, oh, and it's just full of little notes from that. Which then that'll keep me happy for weeks. I think when
I'm talking to geeks, do you know that? I love it.
that session started on Saturday. I had a busy day because I was teaching just after it on an outdoor session, which I'm still keeping going for the time being. And I had plenty of other things to do. And there's a little bit of, I could just do about this session this morning. But within 10 minutes, bam, you're in it and absorb. And nothing, everything else in life fades away. And that's what's one of the beauties of karate in this period.
Do you think that, I mean, I know the JKS have done these online courses with the Japanese, but do you think that will continue? Do you think that will continue carrying on? Do you think that it will just eventually fade away? There won't be no more online classes?
I don't know, because I haven't been involved in the administration of doing them and setting them up at all. I would hope I'd love to think there'll be some sort of, if it continues. I mean, ideally you want the mix of both, don't you? You want them coming over so you can see it in person, and then these little technical catch-ups that you can get on Zoom. Those two things put together would work perfectly in my view.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. I think with the being online as well to train with, I've not had the chance, unfortunately, to go to Japan yet for the international seminar, but when you log on to one of these classes, there's 400 people from all over the world training together, and I think that's something that's a bit special as well.
Yeah, that is really nice, isn't it? When you, one of the things that works so well again. I mean, there's 400 people training, but you always think they're watching you. So,
Kanayama does this.
Yeah, keeping my stance, it works perfectly.
Can you see me?
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
I was telling the story the other week. You told me the international seminar. I think you were next to me, Sensei, with Kagabashi Hanson, and Kagabashi. It was Chinty Kagabashi Sensei was teaching, and then we went sent for a water break, and we all turned back, and Kanayama Sensei standing there with a big handful of resistance bands.
Yes.
And the whole room went, "Oh God."
I mean, Kanayama Sensei. Yeah, Kanayama Sensei is one of my inspirations.
Machine.
He's a machine, and his karate is. Sometimes you forget how good his karate actually is as well. Because you hear him being described as the machine, and he just press ups, sit ups forever. But then when you watch the karate with it, and you think this is everything that he's doing is just developing this high level movement and action. I find him absolutely inspiring. Absolutely inspiring. Obviously we just had the JKS International seminar. He did, and I did, like an idiot, I did all the sessions, including getting up at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. to do them. And he did one, I think it was like a 2 a.m. session on a Sunday night. And he did one like it was one of his dojo sessions. I'd forgotten how hard they were. It was fantastic.
The first time I trained with him in Japan, it was at the dojo, the old dojo before they moved across, and Paul and Sarah Sensei, and yes. I literally arrived at Narita Airport like 4 a.m, and I'd gone into the wee hotel at the side, which has iron doors in the rooms, which is a bit disturbing. And my students went arriving to the afternoon. They went, and Paul phoned me and went, "Are you coming to training?" What? And it was that summer when it was like 42 degrees. So I was jet lagged to hell. Got on the Narita Express, straight in, stole all my luggage. I know how much the Japanese love you in the Yamanote line. You've got all your luggage.
Yeah.
Got on that. Went to Sagamo, got off. Paul says, like, come on. So I'm like a wee geisha running behind him with all my luggage. Jet lagged. A wee ginger Scottish guy in 42-degree heat. So I was quite the picture. And I walked in the Kanayama said he just looked at me like I'd landed from Mars. Who's this? And he destroyed me. He just walked around me laughing for the entire, because I had no strength. It was like I had no power at all. Just trying to do setup. So that was first real music with Kanayama Sensei. Yeah,
if you're doing those, I mean, every time you go over, and that you have that chance of doing that session, that first session when you just arrived, and I always think, why am I doing this session? Because your brain's not functioning. You're in jet lag, and But even though I think I went by myself a couple of years ago to train for a bit, And I got there and I said to myself, I am not doing this first session. I'm going to go to the hotel and relax. Get to the hotel, all you do, get straight on the train, go and do the first session. Horrible.
Well, the last day of that trip, I went. Paul said to the rest kind of left it the previous day, and I was still there a day. And I went, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that last 10 a.m. class, and I'm going to the airport. And I walked in, there was two of us.
Oh.
I couldn't get off the plane.
Yeah.
I think it was Paris I landed in. I went from my other flight, and I was like, oh, give me a minute. No, you can all go. You can all go. No, it's fine. No rush. I'll get my luggage in a minute. He felt sorry for me, but are you leaving? And yes, Sensei. He threw me a t-shirt. Thank you. As I fell out the door. But I can't wait for going back to Japan. I'm hoping we can get back in for starting next year. I don't think we'll get the international seminar this year. Do you, Sensei?
I think it seems unlikely, doesn't it? I mean, there's a bit of me that's just holding out hope that we have a chance. But I know that I know the moment they're struggling about there. They haven't got many cases, but they're not really on the vaccines like we are. So it's I don't know. I'd love to get there as soon as I can. And I was due to go out there just when it all hit. I'd all booked up to go out there. I was going to go out there for a few weeks with my own training, and then it all hit. So I've still got some money. I've still got some credit with KLM. So I'm all ready.
As soon as.
Yeah.
Sensei, I mean, we spoke about the Karate Buddy app a little bit earlier on, but we didn't speak about the Kumite coach. So people like listening and watching us now. I mean, what is it? Like, what is the Kumite coach? I mean, we'll put the link up so that they're able to find out. But
yeah, it's coaching tools to give people the coaching that they need. So whether you're a complete beginner and you've not really done any kumite, or maybe you go to a dojo which doesn't really specialize in any kumite and you want to get ahead, and it's just giving you those tools and ideas and training methods, building up from the beginnings, what techniques you use, how they should be thrown for a competition, and then working with your higher level athletes, other drills that you can add in, so you've got footwork drills, ladder drills, combinations you need to put together, correct blocking methods. But what makes this a little bit different is the quality that it's being done in. Things are a day's filming. We spend a whole day filming with a high level, cameramen doing it all, and you'll only get through a very small amount because everything has to be precise. Everything has to be done in such a way that it's I guess it's like the Netflix of a kumite type thing, and so it's just giving people that opportunity, an online thing they can buy onto. And we came up with this idea a long time before this current situation hit us, and in fact it's done nothing but hinder us because people haven't been competing and we haven't been able to get together and do as many as we wanted. But no, it's I said it's the brainchild of Ben Richardson, and it's great. It's a real good tool.
That's what struck me of it with it was that, as you say, that's a quality of it, because there's lots of there's versions of it, but I've got to say that yours is the highest standard, highest quality, and what you're saying about attention to details, bang on. It's what these kind of things you say. Well, this is how it's done, and we move on. Whereas, yeah, really, I'm not very bright. I need the ABCs. I need the maths of it. So yeah, that's something I thought was really helpful. And it helped me teach my students as well, my kind of committee guys, to give them, and it helped my understanding of it. So
yeah, that's great. That's
not just saying that because I know you like it or met you. So it genuinely is a good bit of kit, and I think it's something that will last. And
I mean, it's just a degree that I mean, and I have to give the credit to Ben for doing coming up with all the ideas. But he's just they want it done in a certain way. It's like we've got to, why this technique? Why you need to work this technique? How are you going to do this technique? What mistakes? And so again, it's really good for us because we've got to rethink everything. We can't just say, well, throw a front hand. we've got to analyze and show and write everything down, make sure that we've got it across the correct way, constantly having to do retakes because you've messed up a word.
I enjoyed obviously the variation, the karateka they used for it as well. There's quite a mix of people demonstrating, and it was good to see different people be able to do different techniques as well,
Yeah. I mean, it's done something like on myself and for we'll do a little bit of demonstrating ourselves, but really we're coaching someone, so we're showing the coach's point of view of something, rather than saying, well, here's me throwing my spinning jumping back kick. We'll say, well, here's Joe Calloway doing it, and this is what we're looking for from him, and this is what he's looking for. So yeah, it's a good idea, and it's working.
No, I hope you get your uptake on it. We all jumped on it almost immediately.
Excellent. Well, it's a wise. To
be honest, we ran it. We were teaching the same thing every class, and we went, we're not very good at this, and then we copied you because you are quite good at it. So it was again pure plagiarism. So obviously, so you're JKS England committee coach. So you produce a very high standard, and again, it's we've seen them in action, and Sean's been beaten up by a few of them, I'm sure.
I've felt them in action.
It's a great thing of being old. So what's next for the squad? Is it a full rebuild job? Have you got those athletes there? Are you keeping them ticking?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've been giving, as you imagine, and I'm sure the same thing happened with JKS Scotland as well with your group. We're something giving a lot of thought to, trying to figure out where what's going to happen next. I've got penciled in. We're going to do a squad session in September, so that gives people plenty of time to get back to the dojo first, get themselves going, and then rebuild from there, especially towards next year. I can't see there being any big tournaments this year. There'll be lots of little ones, which is great. And just let people get back into it. You don't. Some people need forcing a little bit, but you don't want to push people in too early when they haven't had a chance. So it's just tricky at the moment. It is tricky.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the right thing for everybody, which is always hard. But now at the moment it's even harder. I think as long as they can see that we're going to be there for them and we're going to do our best, and if they haven't really had a chance for last year to do much training at all, well, we'll bear with them. We'll get them. Our job's to get them back into shape, back ready to get out there on the mats.
We always love the Scotland England match at the end of the championships up in Scotland. That's always the highlight of the day.
Yeah, it was always good. I mean, obviously, JKS Scotland got a real great bunch as well. So it's always good fun. It's always good fun.
Yeah, it's always good stuff.
Not fun refereeing it.
That's only when you get.
Well, I flagged for England, and I thought I was going to get lynched in my own country. I flagged for one of you guys, and I could feel the icy blast from the stands. I went, no, that's what I saw. I don't care. Right, start the car.
Yeah, good fun. I'm looking forward to getting back to just generally competing again. That kind of competition day. We dreaded it before, and you go and you know that you're there from the first moment to the last moment, whether it's coaching or. Like my daughter's always one of the first ones up, and I'm always one of the last ones up. So we're there the whole day coaching, and you dread it. Oh, another one coming up, and a long day for the younger one. But I'm really looking forward to getting back into it now. Definitely.
Yeah. I think everyone's the same. It's just that. It's just that. Oh, I just want things to get back to that some level where we can just get out there, and the last thing you want is suddenly like, this competition's arranged for so, and then it has to get put off. But yeah, hopefully, things do feel optimistic at the moment, so I'm running with that. Yeah.
Well, we were saying the other week there that all the things we're doing now are plans for the future, whereas before it was about consolidation and keeping things ticking and keeping the families together, keeping the clubs together. But now it is about every plan I'm making now regarding my dojo is all about the future, which is positive. It's taxing. It's difficult. You're trying to build. You're trying to look into the future a bit, but yeah, it's all positive now. So that's something we should all take.
Yeah, I mean, You've had the same thing. You've had lots of like new recruits and such things in the last few weeks. Yeah.
Aye, people come to me, but yeah, I've had lots of new members the last couple of weeks. The other clubs must be shut, but yeah, there's.
Yes, everybody and their granny wants to do karate. I think.
Yeah.
I think I was quite negative before when I spoke to the lads. I was like, I thought opening at this time was because normally I don't know what it's like for you guys, but usually my best recruitment time, if I can use that term, is September, October, November, December. It's not traditionally May, June, July. That's usually where the outdoor sports kind of attract people. But no, we've got a wee private message group where we insult each other, but we've been kind of got like new people in today. I can't believe it. We've been kind of sharing that, so it is all positive.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even really advertised as such because I was like, well, let's just get the first few weeks underway first. Let's see where we stand and where. And then the emails keep coming in, and I think, wow, why can it always be like this? It's nice.
It's not.
Yeah, no, I'm doing more admin at the moment than I am teaching. This is one part. This is what I didn't think the job was. To be fair, I thought it was teaching, but now I'm doing all this admin.
The teaching bit's the easy bit.
Teaching is the easy.
Teaching's the easy bit. It's the rest of the nonsense I find depressing.
No, it's good.
Well, Matt Sensei, thank you so much for giving up your time today. It's been absolutely brilliant to chat to you. We hope that you'll come back on at some point. We haven't.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Off. I hopefully you made some sense through that. As again, we're not professionals at doing this. We're just the idiots that like talking to other karate geeks. So, thank you very much for giving up your time.
My pleasure. So
we'll call it there, folks. Again, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed listening to Matt Sensei. We certainly enjoyed chatting to him. A goodbye from Mark. You need to speak, big man. We're on Podbean as well, big man. You had to speak.
It's pretty civil of him this today.
Yeah, he's quite behaved.
I'm behaving.
All right, you spoke there. Fantastic.
Oh.
God in heaven. And thank you very much, Sean.
No, thanks, guys. Thank you, Sensei Matt. It's awesome to kind of catch up with yourself and kind of hear a bit about your background and your thoughts. So thank you.
Well, thanks very much for having me.
I'll get you up for a course. I know you're up for courses. Right, fantastic. Thanks very much. I can steal your ideas face to face. You see,
even better. Brilliant.
Right, so thanks everyone. Remember to like and subscribe and share, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Okay, thanks very much. Finish in 3, 2, 1.